I gave my boyfriend one last chance after months of lies, porn addiction, abuse, death threats, and manipulation, but now that I'm pregnant, I'm realizing there's nothing left to save, and I don't know how to get out. I met my boyfriend in late January, and to say things moved fast would be an understatement. Within 2 months of dating, we were already living together. And not long after that, I found out I was pregnant. I know, I should have been more careful, but I trusted him when he told me he was infertile. He claimed he had been with more than 15 partners before me, all unprotected, and never once got someone pregnant, so I foolishly believed him. Clearly, that wasn't the case. From the moment we moved in together, though, things started to go downhill. At first it was little things I brushed off, but over time they've piled up and become harder to ignore. For starters, he is very clingy. Like, suffocatingly clingy. If I so much as leave the house for a night, he cries. Actual tears. If I go out to see friends, he spams my phone with calls and texts until I either answer or come home. Even when he's at work, he messages me nonstop, little things like, "What are you doing? I miss you. Talk to me," all day long. I know some people would consider that sweet, but I feel smothered. It's like I can't breathe without checking in. I've encouraged him to make friends, hang out with his family, or get hobbies, but he refuses. He admits I'm basically his entire world, but that kind of pressure is exhausting. I don't feel like I'm allowed to just be myself anymore, because all of his focus and energy is wrapped around me. And when we are together, it's only ever on his terms. We watch what he wants to watch, we do what he wants to do, and if I suggest something else, he gets disinterested immediately. He'll either sigh, pull out his phone while I'm talking, or just change whatever it is back to what he likes. He's autistic, so he's very rigid about routines and preferences, which I try to respect, but it's incredibly one-sided. I try to introduce him to my shows, my hobbies, my interests, but he can't be bothered to engage. It makes me feel invisible, like I'm just there to entertain him on his terms. Then there are the things that aren't so small. Not long ago, I found out he was still texting one of his exes. Not just texting, but flirting. She was literally calling him daddy in their messages. I confronted him about it because obviously that crossed a boundary for me, and instead of apologizing, he made excuses for her and then turned it back on me. He accused me of being controlling for not being okay with him keeping up this dynamic with her. He told me it was no big deal and that I was overreacting. I felt gaslit. Another issue, and this one cuts deep right now, is money. I'm pregnant, which is already a huge stress, and on top of that, I don't currently have a job. Even knowing this, he insists I pay for half the bills. Rent, utilities, groceries, you name it. Meanwhile, I do all the cooking, cleaning, laundry, dishes, and general household chores. When I told him I didn't think it was fair to expect me to pay half when I have no income and am doing all the domestic labor, his response was, "You're an adult. Grow up. Deal with it." That sentence stung so badly. It made me feel like he doesn't see us as a team, like he just wants me to pull weight that I physically and financially can't carry. The more I step back and look at things, the more red flags I see. It feels like the relationship is completely unbalanced, like I give and he takes. I'm carrying this child, taking care of our home, trying to juggle all the emotional labor of keeping things stable, and yet he treats me like I'm the burden. Things have only gotten worse the longer we've lived together. On top of everything I've already mentioned, one of the biggest issues is how quickly he gets angry and how personally he takes every little thing. For context, I have CPTSD. My triggers are very specific. Men yelling, fighting, loud noises, being cornered, basically anything that makes me feel small and unsafe. I've been open about this since the beginning, and I trusted him enough to tell him, because I thought he'd understand and try to be mindful. Instead, it feels like he uses that knowledge against me. Whenever we fight, he blows up. He gets up in my face, towering over me, because he's 6 feet 3 inches and over 130 kilograms, while I'm 5 feet 2 inches, 85 kilograms, and visibly pregnant. He's also a wrestler, so it's not like the size difference isn't obvious. And I'm a housewife right now. I cook, clean, and try to rest where I can, but when he's angry, none of that matters. He leans down at me, screaming insults, calling me names, and just radiating this rage that terrifies me. It always sends me into a full-blown panic episode. When I panic, my instinct is to get space. I'll try to retreat to our bedroom or go outside or even just walk to the bathroom to calm down. But he never lets me. He follows me everywhere, refusing to give me a second of quiet to process or breathe. He always says, "We need to fix this now." But it's not fixing anything. It's trapping me in a cycle of fear. I've told him that I need time to cool off, that it's not me running away from problems, but me preventing a breakdown. He doesn't care. He insists on cornering me until I either break down crying or shut down completely. There have even been times he's physically prevented me from leaving the room, blocking the doorway or grabbing my arm, just so I'm forced to stand there and listen to him yell. That lack of respect for my boundaries extends into other parts of our relationship, too. Before we got serious, I was very clear about my boundaries with porn. It's something that makes me uncomfortable, and I explained that to him early on. He looked me in the eye and promised me it wouldn't be a problem. He told me, "I value how you feel more than I value getting off. If it bothers you, I won't do it." He made it sound like my feelings mattered, like he understood the gravity of making a promise like that. I believed him, but he lied. I've caught him 3 separate times breaking that promise. The first time, he tried to downplay it, acting like it wasn't a big deal, like I was overreacting. The second time, he swore it was just a slip-up, that he was stressed and it meant nothing. And the third time, well, that's when I realized it wasn't a slip-up at all. He is absolutely addicted. He looks for porn at work. He goes on Reddit to find porn threads and scrolls for hours. He waits for me to step outside to garden or sit in the sun, and the second I'm out of the room, he's back on it. It's like he's constantly waiting for an opportunity. What hurts the most isn't even the porn itself, but the lying, the fake promises, the sneaky, sly behavior. The way he makes me feel crazy for caring about the boundary I set, and how he acts like my feelings are just inconveniences to him. It makes me feel small, betrayed, and completely unimportant. And every time I catch him, he acts like I'm the one damaging the relationship by not letting it go. So now I feel stuck. I'm pregnant. I'm financially dependent on him because he insists I pay half of everything, but knows I can't. I'm emotionally drained because I'm both his girlfriend and his only source of emotional fulfillment. I can't breathe without him hovering, but I also can't count on him to support me the way a partner should. Instead, he lies, yells, corners me, and chips away at my trust day by day. I'm starting to realize that this isn't just immaturity. It's manipulation. It's control. And if I'm honest, it's abuse. I keep thinking about what life will look like once the baby is here. If he's this volatile and selfish now, what happens when we're sleep-deprived and dealing with a newborn? What happens when I need help and instead get screaming in my face? What happens when my child grows up watching him treat me this way? I think what breaks me the most is that I can't even justify his porn use with the typical excuses some people make. Like, I would understand to a degree if I wasn't giving him sex, or if I wasn't open to his kinks, or if I constantly refused him. But that's not the case. I've never refused him. Whenever, wherever, however, if he wanted it, I was there. I've indulged in fetishes that made me uncomfortable just because I wanted him to feel fulfilled. I've practiced things on my own to get better at what he likes. I thought that was what a supportive partner did. And yet, none of that seems to matter. He'll still sneak around, still lie, still choose a screen over me. It hurts in this indescribable way because it makes me feel invisible, like all the work and effort I put in is worthless. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but it's like no matter what I do, there's always better stuff out there for him to get off to. That thought eats at me. It makes me feel ugly, inadequate, like I could never measure up to pixels on a phone. To make matters worse, he doesn't even try to satisfy me. Sex is entirely on his terms. There's barely any foreplay. He just tries to stick it in, and then gets frustrated when I'm not instantly ready. I've explained over and over that my body doesn't work like that I need foreplay to enjoy sex, that I need connection, and not just penetration. He acts like me saying that is some kind of attack, like I'm insulting his manhood by admitting I need more than what he's giving. I've tried to make things fun for both of us. I bought toys thinking it would spice things up and give us more to play with together. But he only ever uses them on himself. If I ask him to use them on me, he'll make excuses or act annoyed or just flat out refuse. I have to beg for him to even consider it. He has zero interest in trying any of the kinks I've expressed, despite promising me he would. It's like my needs don't exist. The more I communicate, the more he twists it into me being demanding or disrespectful. And then there's the darker part, the part one don't really like admitting to myself. About a month ago, I finally tried to leave him. We were in the middle of yet another fight, and he had gotten up in my face again. He shoved me against the wall, twice. That was my breaking point. I said, "I'm done. I'm leaving." He completely lost it. I don't even have words for the way he spiraled. He destroyed the house. He spam called me and texted me nonstop. He sent me pictures of himself self-harming. He said he was going to kill himself if I didn't come back. I was terrified, not just for myself, but for him. I didn't know if I was about to get a call from the hospital or the morgue. He was sending me live updates of him walking to places where he said he was going to do it. He said it was all my fault. I called the police and ambulance 3 times in 2 nights. Each time I hoped it would be the thing that finally got him real help. Each time I was shaking, crying, not knowing if I'd ever see him alive again. And while I was in that state of complete panic, while I was feeling like my world was crumbling, do you know what he was doing? He was downloading dating apps. He was scrolling for porn. He was getting himself off while I sat there, sick with worry, not knowing if the man I loved was minutes away from ending his life. I can't even describe how betrayed I felt when I found that out. I was in pieces, and he was casually browsing other options, casually chasing dopamine hits while stringing me along with threats of suicide. It made me realize just how manipulative this all was. None of it was about me. None of it was about us. It was all about control, keeping me scared, keeping me tied to him, making sure I wouldn't walk away. After a week of back and forth, me staying away at a friend's place, him blowing on my phone with apologies, promises, and guilt trips, I finally caved. I came back home. I told myself I'd give it one last shot, one last chance to see if we could salvage anything. That was about a month ago now. But the truth is, I already knew deep down. I was too broken, too hurt, too exhausted to keep doing this dance. I think I wanted to believe that if I just tried harder, if I just pushed through, maybe it would all feel worth it. But it doesn't. It hasn't. It never will. Every time I look at him, all I can see is the collection of wounds he's given me. The verbal abuse, his screaming, the way he gets in my face, towering over me, calling me names while I shrink back, shaking. The mental abuse, twisting things I say, gaslighting me until I don't even trust my own memories, turning my needs into weapons against me. And then there's the boredom. That sounds so small compared to everything else, but it's crushing. I can't even sit down and play a video game without him sulking. I can't make plans with my friends without him spamming me with calls and texts, demanding to know when I'll be home, telling me I don't care about him. I feel like I don't have a life anymore. I'm not me. I'm just his caretaker, his entertainment, his punching bag. The physical abuse lingers in the back of my mind too. That time he shoved me into the wall. That time he blocked the doorway, refusing to let me leave. The way he uses his size, 6 feet 3 inches, heavy, a wrestler's build, while I'm small, pregnant, tired, trying to hold myself together. He knows how vulnerable I am and he uses it. And then the suicide threats. God, the suicide threats. The intimidation, the if you leave, I'll kill myself, and it will be your fault. The nights I spent panicking, calling ambulances, begging him to stay alive while he was secretly looking at porn and swiping on dating apps. That broke something in me. I realized I wasn't dealing with someone who just needed help. I was dealing with someone who weaponized his mental health against me. The porn is its own hell. It's not even about the porn itself, it's the lies. The way he looks me in the eyes and swears he isn't hiding anything when I know he is. The way he says he values me, that I'm enough, that he doesn't need porn, only to sneak it every time I turn my back. It makes me feel useless, disposable, like I'll never measure up no matter how much I give. And the thing is, I've given everything. My body, my time, my effort, my self-respect. And still, it's never enough. Now when I look at him, I don't feel love. I don't feel connection. I feel sadness. I feel anger. I feel drained. I don't feel valued. I don't feel like a partner. I feel like an object he uses, like a mother who takes care of him, like a cage he rattles when he's angry. I keep asking myself, is this really it? Is this really the life I'm signing up for? To spend my days being belittled, smothered, screamed at, lied to, cheated on with pixels and fantasies, manipulated into staying out of fear? The hardest part is the pregnancy. If it was just me, I think I'd already be gone. But now it's not just me anymore. And that terrifies me. Because how can I bring a child into this chaos? How can I trust him to be a father when he can't even respect me as the mother of his child? I wanted so badly for that one last chance to work. But all it did was confirm what I already knew. There's nothing left to fix. There's nothing here worth saving. There's only me, broken down, and him, who doesn't even see what he's done. And now I have to figure out how to climb out of this hole I let myself fall into.